decide to go to Walmart in the middle of a parade.
Okay, let's be serious. I did not plan to go to Walmart during a parade. It was more like I went to Walmart, and as the cab was trying to take me home, we came across a parade that would not let us go through. So I really had no other choice besides getting off the cab and trying to carry all my groceries through the crowd, giant crowds of people gathering to see this amazing parade. Yeah, San Cristobal loves their party, and this is just how they roll.
There has to be like 100 floats or cars decorated, and so many people in costumes and so many Santa Clauses, and everybody seems to think that I'm giving bags away. Oh, St. Chris. An hour later,
I made it home after an hour and 15 minutes. Fighting with a parade. And thus we start with our adventures on all the festivals of San Cristobal. The first festival that we actually experienced was San Cristobalito. At the top of the steps of the church, they hold a festival. Now, this was a momentous occasion for us because we finally found out what these cohetes that we kept hearing over and over every morning were. And how they do it, why they do it, and all of that. So it's pretty exciting to see them up close.
maybe it's both.
It's rare to go one day without hearing some sort of cohete from one of the many churches in San Cristobal. And for every religious festival, they always put pine needles on the floor and have a sort of carnival around the church. They also hold mass. Every single barrio and every single church hold one of these carnivals. Some have parades and some don't.
We were expecting for this parade to be on Friday. I had it all planned, and I got a text this morning that it's now. So we're rushing to get there. So at 6 a.m. today, I started listening to the cohetes, and that's not normal. Usually they start at 7, so I should have known it was today. We are currently missing it. It's right there. She doesn't want to run. Is that it? Let's try to go that way. Ahora estamos esperando. I mean, well, that was for my mom. My mom wants me to do videos in Spanish, so. Now we're waiting at Guadalupe Victoria because they're supposed to come back. But aquí vuelven supuestamente. So what did you think?
It was cool. The people with the old people masks.
Yes, me too. The old folk in the car with the mask were adorable. Listen, the cop said they were coming back.
Yeah, you asked like 25.
But he also said in 20 minutes. So we gotta wait.
Seriously?
And we waited for a long time. But hey, what is our job as parents but to annoy our children?
We found the second one! Talk about the best spot.
Later on, during our life in San Cristobal, we found out that these parades go up and down the streets repeatedly for hours. So missing it is not as easy as I thought it would be, because you can always catch it on the way back. Now there's costumes for every celebration in Mexico, apparently, at least what we've seen so far. And if the costume is not traditional or religious in nature, the other thing they do is wear outfits that back in the day used to be to make fun of the Europeans that had invaded their lands. And like I said before, each barrio has its own little carnival kind of celebration, and they had theirs in front of La Iglesia La Merced on their Plaza La Merced. This was the opening ceremony for the Festival of the Corn in San Cristobal de las Casas. It was a ceremony honoring and blessing the corn. And all the vendors and whoever was present was also able to put their offerings on the altar to be blessed during the ceremony and participate in it. Towards the end of the ceremony, they got to pick up their items and participate in the ceremony by forming circles and walking clockwise and counterclockwise around the altar. It was an amazing experience. This particular group also performs at the Zócalo at times. So if you ever find yourself in San Cristobal, I would totally recommend to check out the Zócalo and see what performance you find. So when the ceremony was done, there were other bands that played in different styles, and I got a chance to take a look at the vendors, and they had everything corn related, like from cornbread to something that looked like an arepa, and they had a sweet version and a salty version. They also had different kinds of art. I think these were little pouches of some sort in the shape of corn. They also had other vendors that weren't corn related. It reminded me of templeque, which I think is made out of coconut, but this was made out of corn. And even the music was corn themed. They had bike machines. I think it was my first time trying pozol. Of course, had to get a tamal. And then, after all this, I found corn ice cream. I'm not even hungry. Or like a gelato. Now, some of the events we experienced were way bigger than a little clip in this video. We have Independence Day, which was really exciting for us because it was the first time we stayed out until midnight. There's something about being outside at night in a new town that is a little weary for me, so we don't do it often. Another event was the Jazz Festival, which was awesome because they had workshops throughout it, and it lasted 2 days. And last but not least, El Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe. Now this was hands down my favorite religious event. I learned so much, and I totally recommend you watch that video. So I made a specific video for each of those events, and I'll tag them below so you can watch them. And to close us up, Dia de los Muertos. Now, this doesn't mean that there aren't more festivals in San Cristobal. There sure are, and we're probably gonna leave before we get to the spring break ones. But these are the ones we experienced. And Dia de los Muertos, we did not, unfortunately, experience completely because we were in the United States on October 31st for Halloween, and we came back on November 1st. So we caught the tail end of things. What was cool about this holiday is that like everybody seemed to go out. It wasn't like that for many of the other holidays, like the ones that are in the barrios were only in the barrios, and like Independence Day, there were only a selected few that had decorated their businesses in the style. But for Dia de los Muertos, there were decorations everywhere, and the Zócalo was decorated, and the Plaza de la Paz was decorated. It was amazing. It really was. And I wish we would have been there on the 1st in the morning to see everything, because Anne told us that it was even prettier, but we missed it. Now, if you want to know more about Dia de los Muertos, I totally recommend that you check out her video. She did a full video on Dia de los Muertos. I'll link it below. Now, earlier in October, we did take a class on Dia de los Muertos. If you don't know a lot about Dia de los Muertos, the way they honor their dead is by having a celebration on November 1st, in which they put their loved ones' favorite things in an altar, along with their photographs, so their loved ones can find their way back home from the afterlife. We found this tradition to be so beautiful and brought back some photographs from the United States to create an altar ourselves and honor our loved ones that have passed. And that's how we celebrated Dia de los Muertos. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.